Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. It is Monday. We are coming home from a good day at work today. We're going to be watching Monday Night Raw on Netflix come 5 o'clock here on the West Coast. It's not chilly out, but it's a little cool. Sun's out, so it's honestly a pretty good day. But man, I was excited to talk some wrestling with you guys today. Honestly, the Royal Rumble coming up on January. I can tell you this much. I am really excited about my WrestleMania trip. I'm at the point now that I wish that it would be like tomorrow, just so we can start and we can get it going. I can tell you, I haven't been to WrestleMania in so many years. I'm nervous about not having enough time to do the things that I want to do in New Orleans. I just want to get there so I can knock out all the things I have and then see how much downtime I'm actually going to have on this trip. But the Royal Rumble, it shaped for me a little bit, or it shifted for me a little bit, I think is the right word I was looking for. I really was thinking that John Cena was going to be the victor. I was hoping that The Rock had a chance to be there. I think that CM Punk deserves his name on the wall. You know, him coming back to WWE after being gone for 10 years. Hell, it was the Royal Rumble when he quit WWE and just said, like, hey, if you're going to have Kane throwing me out of a Royal Rumble, I don't want no more of this. Drew McIntyre is the name. Seth Rollins is the guy that's always in the mix. You got to be thinking about a guy that, you know, just jumped over to SmackDown, a former World Heavyweight Champion. Everybody. I think even Gunther has a chance to get in there and actually have a shot. I think it's a little bit of a long shot because of the fact that he already has a championship. But WWE loves to do champion versus champion matches, especially at WrestleMania. We've seen Brock versus Roman. Hell, Roman is another guy. I keep forgetting that he's a name. We haven't really seen him or thought about him since the Netflix on Raw debut where he wrestled against Solo Sikoa. I'm also pretty surprised. I don't think we've seen Solo Sikoa since there. But then you think about, you know, Jacob Fatu. He had one hell of a showing. I think that he is going to be the Diesel, the Mabel, the Rikishi. He is going to be the guy just dumping people out of the Royal Rumble. I think there's a good chance that, like, he has over 10 eliminations. He's just going to come in at a point when it's just packed, and he's just going to clear people out. And I see him, you know, finishing somewhere like in the top 5, and that would make my day. That would just be freaking awesome to see Jacob Fatu just running wild in a Rumble. But when it comes down to it, I think I have a new favorite in the Royal Rumble. You know, people came out and they were saying John Cena gonna win the Rumble. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, last WrestleMania. You know, going out with his name up on top. Maybe he finds a way to win it. And the last year he's in WWE, he sees himself at the top as the champion. He could be doing house shows, you know, kissing babies, and you know, just reliving those 2000 moments of John Cena where he just was unbeatable. And maybe even give him like a Ric Flair like storyline that, like, hey, you know, John, this is fun and all, but, you know, when you lose that thing, we don't need you anymore. I know that we don't really have like the heel authority, you know, with like Stephanie and Triple H, you know, running things kind of crooked at the top. But if we did, I'm sure that would be one of the storylines that they would be running. But I think as of right now, I think Jey Uso is my favorite to win the Royal Rumble. I know that a lot of people look at, you know, the Elimination Chamber, you know, pretty much going to be taking over Toronto in February. John Cena is heavily featured as being there. And if John Cena was just there to deliver a promo, much like he did at Money in the Bank, when he came out and he said that he was going to start his retirement tour in 2025, I think that they would just say that he was like doing a promo. They make it seem like he's going to be doing something pretty big there. Almost like the one time when he won the Royal Rumble, I believe in 2008, and he was like, I don't want my shot at WrestleMania. I want my shot now. And I think like No Way Out, the February pay-per-view, Cena just got the title shot there. And then that led to like the three-way at WrestleMania 25 with Edge as well as Big Show. I think I got my timeline right there. But I read a story today. I don't even really know if it was a story. Maybe it was just a tweet. Basically thinking that they think that Cena is going to win the Rumble because it's an easier match than the Elimination Chamber. I think when Cena knew he was coming back, he was going to be throwing everything out the window. No movies, no TV, no commercials. He knew that, if he was getting in the ring, there was a good chance he's going to be working with professionals, but there was a good chance he might get a little bit hurt, a little bit battered, a little bit bruised, maybe a little black eye here or there somewhere along the way. We've seen John Cena with those. I'll remember on Monday Night Raw when Rollins busted his nose. Shit happens. I think he's cleared his schedule to the point where, like, hey, WWE, you want to use me, this is when you use me, and we're good to go. Cena's wrestled in the chamber before. Cena's done ladder matches, TLCs, Money in the Banks. He's gone through tables, ladders, chairs. I don't think the Elimination Chamber scares him. I think that Cena has been in enough chamber matches that if he's in there with professionals that he knows aren't going to be going out there to hurt him, he can take big bumps and he can take him right, and he's going to be okay. I would love to see Cena in the final two. I think Cena being in the final four would almost be guaranteed. But I could see Cena, getting eliminated. He was my pick going up until late Saturday night when Jey Uso didn't beat Gunther. Gunther's face, I heard some stuff with Wrestling Observer Live, basically talking about the fact that the ending to Saturday night's main event might have been rushed. Maybe they ran out of time and they were telling them to go home right now. It didn't really make sense. Their final sequence, like squashing the Uso comeback, to me it made a lot of sense. But Uso when he was given that comeback and then it just led into the two power bombs, Gunther's face after he got the 1-2-3 was not a victorious thank you, I knew I was gonna win. He was almost looking on like in shock, like, I can't believe I won. I can't believe that I did this. Like I think he even believed that Jey Uso had his number. Now Jey Uso came up short because of his brother last year in the Intercontinental Championship match on Raw. This year on Saturday night's main event, he doesn't have anybody coming in breaking up the match. I even thought there was a chance maybe like Solo Sikoa would come in. Where has that guy been? That guy booked like a permanent vacation. He just like took off and he's gone. He's been on one hell of a run. He might not have been wrestling all that time that he was in the bloodline, being the backup for Roman Reigns and the Usos. But dude, that guy, I don't know. I'm almost at the point now where I'm saying he needs to be around because, like, what the heck are we doing here? That I could see, Jey Uso winning the Rumble, and now it does make sense. They like to think that the WWE Championship as well as the World Heavyweight Championship are on equal playing grounds. But much like, when The Undertaker won the Rumble and they brought Bobby Lashley out with that ECW Championship, thinking that in storyline there was any shot in hell that Undertaker was going to be like, hey, I want to fight for that thing on Tuesdays. No shot in hell. But then again, when Charlotte Flair won the Rumble, she was like, hey, I want a shot. No. Did Charlotte win or did Rhea Ripley win? I think Rhea Ripley won. But then why were they fighting for... No, now I'm all mixed up. I'm thinking about WrestleMania 36. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I think that we're going to have a rematch. I think that Charlotte's going to win the Women's Rumble this year. Was that fighting for the NXT title, or was that fighting for the WWE title? For some reason, I have memory of Charlotte going to NXT, because I think around that time they were, debuting on USA as a part of the Wednesday Night War between AEW Dynamite and NXT. They had Charlotte there. They had Finn Balor there. And that lasted a little while. I think Charlotte even wrestled on the In Your House 3-way, if I remember right. I don't know. 2020, a little bit messed up in the mind. I was getting back into wrestling a little bit at that point, but at the same point, I got out pretty fast. It filled the void, and then it was like, I'm out. But I don't know. I think that Drew McIntyre is a name to watch in the Rumble. I mean, definitely if you pull him in your Rumble pool, I would be excited. But I'm looking forward to like some sort of a little bit of alliance between, especially Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Maybe even adding Kevin Owens into this after the Rumble. I don't know really where a 6-man works at WrestleMania, especially using McIntyre, Rollins, and Kevin Owens all in one match. But they do have to wrestle somewhere on the card. But I honestly, I just feel bad for them. I don't think they have a shot to win the Rumble this year. It's no knock on any of them at all. I really think that like Jey Uso winning the Rumble would especially be like winning one from the bottom. In a Rumble pool, I want to say roughly like in 2013, I pulled the number and I was pretty excited about it because it was somewhere in the 20s. And I can't remember if I got Jey or Jimmy Uso. They were a tag team. I didn't think they had any chance at all once I heard their theme music and they came out on the stage. I pretty much just lit my money on fire and I threw it in the dumpster. But this year, in 2025, I really think that he's gonna do it. I don't know, what that means with him, being the main champion on Monday Night Raw coming out of WrestleMania, especially in this Netflix era. But they've been calling the guy main event Jey Uso since he came over after WrestleMania, splitting from the Bloodline. Cody brought him over, and I think it's time to deliver on that line. Cody holding the championship for SmackDown, Jey holding the title, and running with it. It reminds me a lot of like the new era that started around WrestleMania 20. I know that there's some people that could be throwing up in a bucket right now because I mentioned Chris Benoit. But if you remember the feeling of WWE at the time, with them going with Eddie Guerrero, especially, and Chris Benoit as champions coming out of WrestleMania, that definitely was they're taking a gamble. Going with these guys that people have been saying are the best wrestlers in the world for a while, and maybe they're not the most entertaining. Maybe they can't deliver the best promo. Maybe they can't, name value. You can't sell some tickets, but they can make it entertaining. But I really think he's gonna do it. And then at WrestleMania, no doubt in my mind, Uso's gonna beat Gunther.